Hey there, fellow town builders. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Romestead. Episode 9, The Other Side of the Main Road. So what to build next? For a complete list, let's actually have me look at it. So what do we have? We've got one of everything that is currently possible, but I acknowledge that we could benefit from a second farm if I want to farm non-wheat or stuff that doesn't go through the watermill. And I could benefit from a second mine, too. Or I could upgrade buildings. So what specifically to do? I could build a second mine, build a second farm, or upgrade buildings. Because yeah, everything else has been done, I think. I could also improve defenses. So as far as upgrading buildings, if you're wondering about the list there, and I'll tell you in just a moment, we could get a farmstead level 3 if we wanted to with our worship points, but I would hesitate because we haven't done that for the other things. Some of the things I've skipped over, we haven't done the olive oil dolium for making olive oil. This allows for a level 2 bakery. Then for Diana, there's the higher level lumberyard, and then there's these, and a lot of like the miner and clay pit and stuff have similar, which is rare finds. It gives you a chance to find some rare item when they're automatically working. So we could upgrade the lumber yard. We could upgrade the clay pit, but we would first have to spend something in the lower Mars tree, but that's fine. Maybe like... Actually, I might just buy this outright, so the Scorpios stop breaking. In the Hermes tree, I don't really know if there's any... Like, there's a merchant level 2, but there's not really a lot that I would want to do until we have the means to get automated brick for, like, brick road upgrades. For Venus, it's aesthetic stuff. As you can see, there's just beauty stuff. And then for Vulcan, it is the quarry, furnace fuel, higher level automatic Scorpio. Yeah. So that would be the upgrades, or like wall damage resistance, which really hasn't been an issue up until this point. And it looks like the second farm seems to be coming in first. So let's potentially lay that out. Is it going to fit? So, it's worth noting... I'm just gonna have the upgrade town generalized. It's worth noting that, like, the farmstead, this is the farmable zone. I am not utilizing the full area even a little at all. Like, there's a lot more space that I could be adding here to the farm. And it might be, one could definitely make the argument it would be wise for me to start, like, you know, improving the used area more. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to the destroy old roads overlay. And then filling in some of the spots that should be filled in. Actually, let's do it like that, and then we can align these with, like, planters or something. But the reason I mention that is you could have your farm cover the other side of this. But I think what I want to do is, and this might be a little weird. If I build my farm over here, it doesn't run into the same problems, though. So... maybe I will put it here. I think if I have it... Well, so what I'm thinking here is if I have a second farm, it's not going to be designed for tons and tons of crops. So I don't necessarily need one that has, like, a massive amount of planting space. So I'm going to build a farmstead here and just have the farmable area be in the non-overlap. Because if I put it here, it's kind of in between the two. And I don't want to risk putting the wrong seeds in the wrong place, in other words. So this farmstead is going to be for the non-wheat. And the vast majority of our, like, default diet for our citizens will be just wheat-based. So that might be as many fields as I can add to this that don't overlap, and that's fine. I don't think the fountain overlaps this, but I guess I'll see in time. So there's the farmland, and then there was impetus for a second miner as well, which I think is a good idea. I don't know if there's going to be... I might need to expand our walls, because I'm not sure I'll be able to actually physically fit another quarry in. As you can see, they're kind of a honking... They're a big building, and I guess I could put it here, but it like goes where the clay pit is, which is awkward. Because I'm not 100% sure what happens to the resources of the clay pit if that happens. So if we want a second quarry, I'm likely looking at, one, moving the lumberjack elsewhere and putting the quarry in here. And then having the lumberjack, like, go lower. Or two, expand the walls. So, should I build a second quarry? And the reason to build a second quarry is it might be nice to have an income of copper and an income of coal, or an income of coal and an income of stone. Like, there's a lot of good reasons to have, like, 2 quarries. And then if you do want a second quarry, I'll have to pick a spot for it. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to help the carpenter, because it's going to take the carpenter, like, ages to do this on their own. I'm going to help the carpenter supply the materials for the second farm. So it takes me, like, 20 seconds, and him, like, in multiple days. All wood supplied. No, we're just missing 1 stone there. I don't know, and they must be one of the Insula people, just like hanging out and doing nothing. Now that there's actually space for the lumber in our materials yard, it's a good opportunity to like, oh, nope, it filled up. Bummer. Thought there was more space in that. I like how it just bounces. Like, oh, sorry, it's full. And the freaking carpenter supplied 8 out of 7. Nice. Good math. You, sir, are good at math. Alright, so it looks like we want a second quarry. Where to put it? Oh, did pulling just break? No, there it goes. Where to put quarry? Where lumberjack is? Or south of lumberjack? Or north of road? So north of road, that's an interesting one. What that would look like is start to use the other side of this road, where we put a gate on this road, and then we control both sides. So that would be a quarry up here, essentially annexing another swath. It gives us another clay pit over there, and, you know, because we're eventually going to outgrow our city's footprint. So essentially what that question is like, when do we bother to you know, reassess how much space we need, in essence. And North Road is overwhelmingly popular. Cool. Well, in that case, this becomes a slightly more complex task in that it will require me to build a wall up from here or so and go north. Probably not something to do in the middle of the... You know, I could do it right here. That would make a lot of sense because there's a natural terrain boundary here. Very small bottleneck there. I could even just use this road or this pond. So I think what I'm aiming to do is to have it be like the bare minimum of expansion. To keep it within a reasonable scope of time. Because otherwise it's like, it's going to take me forever and a day. So let's get to it. Kind of hard to do at night because I'm gonna not get any reprieve from the annoyance of enemies harassing me. But we'll do something like this. We'll have a vertical road from here, a vertical gate, and then a... That's it. I don't even need a corner there. Perfect. Over in this spot... Just one wall is apparently enough. Ugh. Y'all just leave me alone. It's too bad I can't grab bear cubs. At least it doesn't hurt that bad. At some intervals, so I'll likely need some Scorpios here for defense. And then probably up here, or maybe even behind the water, so they shoot over the water. Oh my god, stop fighting me. So annoying. Yeah, don't bother doing base expansions at night. At least not after the first few days in game, because you will not be left alone. Oh, for the love of... If you break that bench... Here, I'm gonna break it so I can recover it before it goes poof. Alright, gate. Put another gate there. So we'll do one of these horizontal gun gates here, where the center one is enterable. And then horizontal walls here. And a lot of this I'll probably leave to the carpenter to like work out what like actually building the stuff looks like. Alright. Pretty reasonable. Let's do some land clear to make sure that there isn't any problems with the actual layout. Now, it's really far from the carpenter station, which makes me think, like, our carpenter's just not gonna manage to build this anytime soon. So the question I suppose I have for you is, should I leave it to the carpenter to just like work out over time, or should I passively expand or help? So help is like deliver the materials and get the defenses up, and then passively is exactly as it sounds. And I'm breaking down some of these ruins because they're physically just going to be in the way, blocking me from having good sight lines for the defenses and stuff. It looks like Team Help is gonna win this one. You guys got it. Now, one issue I'm gonna have is there's a huge... I don't have a lot of, like, physical buildings filling in this North Road area. And why that becomes an issue is if you don't have something within 16 tiles or something like that, you will get spawns inside to some degree or another. So I will probably have some inside my wall spawning problems as I expand because I'm not utilizing the area. So basically, don't go too big too quick because you'll end up with, like, some problems related to doing that. Okay. Closing the poll. You guys wanted me to help. That's cool. Did I? No, I didn't. Okay. I'm probably going to need to incorporate more scorpion defenses than I have queued up. I realize. And construction leveled up. Sweet. The reason why I'm not going to do a second carpenter is, like, it will help briefly, and then it won't be needed. And I don't... so I just don't want to go down that path as, like, a preference. And, like, right now the carpenter's like, oh, actually, we have the farmstead. Let me get that farmstead up and running. So we'll put the depressed farmer in there. Yeah. And I'm only going to be able to plant seeds that are native to plains. So, mint, olive, bay, cabbage, I think will be the 4 types. There's also hay or wheat in here that shouldn't be. And then, yeah. It looks good. Okay. Wow, that was quick. Just looked away and... because it's all sort of like automated, right? The materials are pretty local, yeah. I don't need to go too far for it, which is nice. How do beehives work in the game? I've been kind of meaning to build one, so I will show you in just a moment. Instead of describing it. But it's more or less like a passive object that just gets automated. Much the way it is in most games. Where you just collect occasionally. But easier to showcase than describe. So I was planning on putting a Scorpio here, which is why I didn't actually complete that. I meant to grab and bring my my workbench. And then I'll need to like box out that entryway because I don't need enemies coming in from there. Let's go get the workbench and move that over. Can I reach from here? Nope. Cheers. All right. I definitely do not have the flint for a lot of the projects that I just queued up. And what I mean by that is the flint for the actual arrows to fire the stuff. I have some arrows on my person, which I can liberate and queue up. Let's say 300. But yeah, I might want to make my miner a... mine up some flint for that. This shouldn't take too long. I'm mostly done with the border roll. And then we just have that southeast section to fix up, and we'll be good. Now, I do suspect that a lot of the trees around here are going to get shot down and shredded. You're not fooling anyone. I keep forgetting to grab my my workbench. But I'm not, I mean, we're going pretty efficiently. So, as you can see, this is kind of a sacrificial scorpion, and then these are two that will fire over the water. And let's hope it works. Again, not fooling anyone. A black hole of bushes is a little sketchy, guys. If you thought you were going to fool me, it did not work. And then once I have the basic wall structure up, I will tell the carpenter to make some skeps, make some beehives. And also, you know, put in the mining shed that this whole project was required for. I could also grab the scorpions that are going to be obsolete. This barricade, probably I should have left here. I don't think NPCs will destroy their own stuff. But I just wanted to clean up this desert entryway because this is where my, you know, where my outskirts of my town are going to go. Fancy rat. Well, we already have our defenses putting in the work. Shredding everything. And it looks like we're starting to get a little variety of crops over here, which is nice. So mint, olive, bay. Not all of that's going to be like actually useful, but you know, might as well have it. I did bring this. Thought I hadn't. This area might get a little overwhelmed in terms of enemies. I might need to readjust the defenses I have in this choke point, because if we get a lot of like desert enemy traffic here, I don't suspect there will be enough roam for the automated scorpions to like do a meaningfully good job of defending this like tiny corner. Basically, whatever defenses I put here are going to get like mowed down in a heartbeat. Another thing is, up in this corner, we might physically be far enough away from the material storage that we had set up that a quarry in this area won't be accessible to the original material storage. That is not a problem, because you can always have multiple material storages. That's not a big deal. But the reason I point that out is if that is the case, we're going to need to build material storage up this way too. So obviously there's a bit of a dead zone in here, and it's going to cause some problems until we fill it in. But let's go ahead and start to lay out where the mining station will go. And then I can also get rid of some of the walls that were between the old and new. So let's see about a quarry here. And I'll clean the ground and then kind of have the carpenter do the rest. Maybe. I'll supply like whatever there is locally to just speed it up. So, all the stone and one of the wood. Now, one of the issues we will have, and some of these zombies are just going to like kind of chill there and not be a threat, but because I don't have all of the scorpions armed, we're absolutely going to have a situation where there's some points of entry into our base that just is not guarded. But I'll empty these guys out and try to share the arrows around. You're not fooling anyone. How are they in? Moss just spawned in the dead zone. That's the only thing that I can think of. Alright, let's get these scorpions up. This just goes to show how absolutely annoying it can be to try to do, like, major expansions in the day-night cycle that this game has. Because you'll find yourself in a situation frequently where, like, you are in the middle of trying to expand your town, and then all of a sudden it's nighttime, and yeah, that's gonna get annoying, because you're gonna have... What you can do is you can at least temporarily have, like, a massive amount of scorpions, like, covering the area, so that it's a little bit less ridiculous to try to annex new areas. But, like, it's... That's part of the challenge, I guess. Need an arrow supply runner? Yeah, right? That's a level of logistics that we lack. Oh, that's not a good design. Well, it's not a great design that these are firing on each other. This scorpion shouldn't fire on the own wall. I should have had it been more like flat and horizontal, but... It's also one of these situations where it's only a problem because I'm standing right here, and it's not like simulated combat, but active player like is in the area combat, which changes the equation a bit. All right, so those are all set, and then all that's left is the gatehouse down here. Which I'll drop... We haven't had any fights this way, which seems interesting. I would have expected there to be some. And then the gate on the west side to the new addition. So here we go. We are de-walling. Oh, yes. Come on. Which is a little annoying at night, especially with this dead zone going on, because things are spawning inside. One way to stop inside spawns, which I failed to mention before, a really effective way is to just drop altars around where you don't want things to spawn, because altars are really cheap, and they will, like, effectively claim the areas so that you don't have to, you know, you don't have to deal with things spawning inside your walls. And then once you're done, you can just get rid of the altars. So that's what I'm doing here, because obviously it's going to be a big old nuisance to have stuff just constantly murder us. Is this furniture? No. I forget how to delete those things. Construction? Yeah, construction. And it's also worth noting, I am not getting refunded for this, obviously, which is unfortunate. I could have really used the stone, but, you know, it is what it is. So, let's get a few more of the altar spawn blockers, and then a few more scorpions, and we can call that good. Probably need more ammo too. But you can see our new town is like this, rather than like this. So we added a fair bit. Like how all the villagers are like, ooh, an altar. It's like, yeah, I mean, you've seen what those are, guys. They're not new to you. I don't know why it's giving me altar tutorials, but it is. All right. Operation. Gotta add the ammo. Let's get some bullets, or in this case, arrows, doled out to the new turrets so that they can actually help us. There are a lot of them are just empty. And then if you don't know how to use something, like if you're not sure where it should go, if it's a one-off like red currents or, you know, what, I don't want to specifically call out red currents, but if it's a one-off resource, you might want to keep it, because there's a lot of quests that will involve what would otherwise be considered one-off resources, like I want 5 bay leaves, and you know, if you're always getting rid of your weird one-off things, you might not have it for when you need it. It's not always the case, but you know, it's just it's wise to do. All right, at this point, I'm going to tell our miner to start mining flint, because I'm going to want some more arrows for the scorpions, and I'm not all that interested to go get the flint by hand. But I would say the new section is probably good enough. Stop following me. Probably good enough for us to leave alone once I get this altar up to stop spawning inside our walls. And the next question is, quest or town build? So if quest, I would do In Vino Veritas, trying to get some grapes. I have 4 of the 10 grapes I need, and then also get the lyre. And then if town build, I would just continue to build up this new area further. So let's see if the ponds over here has got some flint. Yeah, a little bit. So ready for my builder to use carts? No, but they will get like more efficient when they're higher level. But as far as I know, they're not smart enough for carts. Ever. If I want to get more flint, what I should be doing is like throwing the flint away from the shoreline so that it doesn't fall in the water. That a bunch of flint just get dunked. Which one were you? You were the sloppy? Yeah, I don't need sloppy. That's pretty good flint shards. I did just put all my sticks away though. So we'll head back and grab some sticks and try to make some arrows for the new spots. And if you haven't voted yet, please feel free to do so, because it's tied at the moment, and I'd love a tiebreaker. Alright, you want what, wine, I'm guessing? Apricot! Well, I don't have one of those, so you're on your own for now. So if we wanted a beehive, I could grab some wood planks and wheat and do a batch. So I'm going to do just that. So I'm going to go grab my 2 queen bees. Because I don't want to make it a repeated work order, I would rather just do the one-off. Because I know I had mentioned this, and don't worry, I remembered. I know, it's unusual. So let's grab a stack of hay and get 4 beehives from our dear carpenter. So I'm putting it in the building storage, and boom, 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 boom. 4 beehives ordered. Well, I don't have a farm in the forest. I could probably, I mean, it's not crazy to try to get like farms in other biomes, desert or forest, but like until I really need it, I'm not gonna bother. It's like I would say ultimately low-key unnecessary to farm everything unless you have a purpose for it. So I'm skipping over that for that reason specifically. All right, there we go. There is 1,000 arrows. That'll let me arm this one. I just need a little bit more wood for the last 2 scorpions. And another Piscifax War deck dude. I don't know why I keep getting those. Game's like, hey, go to war, go to war, go to war. It's like, how about I do it at my own pace, game? Okay, those are armed. Thank you for tuning in to Romestead, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any questions for me, let me know in the comments below. I am not, however, looking for feedback. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, fellow Roman citizens.